All
All right, we're live on Twitch,
let's do it.
I guess, and YouTube now. I gotta
And
pull up
YouTube at the same time. Yeah, I saw that
this thing.
our
Damn, I'm telling
podcast
you.
had 0 views on YouTube, and I was like,
Dude,
wow.
it's a humbling feeling, really.
It really
with
is. It really
0
is.
viewers. Oh God, I gotta fix my echo. There we go. We're good.
Thank you.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, I know. It probably scares you.
Yeah, well, because my hardware is so shitty. But
Oh yeah, fair enough.
matter of time.
Soon,
I
big
think-
boy money's coming.
It's April. I should expect to move to Austin in August. So 3 months time, in 12 episodes. By episode 30, we're at episode 15 now. We could maybe get.
We'll get there one day.
We'll get there. We'll get.
Dude, we gotta go fucking golfing soon. The weather's just been so bad.
Yeah, the weather's been bad. The weather's been fucking us.
Terrible. You remember Colton, who we had on the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been trying to go golf with me too. And I'm like, shit, like I bet Elijah would be down.
I'd be down to go too. I'd go golfing with him.
Yeah.
Will would probably go too.
That's what I was thinking too, is like you could bring Will. All right. Let's go ahead and get it. All right, wait. Actually, I kind of want to start this week off with like, I don't know if this is gonna work out, but you know the NFL theme song, like the da 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 da.
Yeah.
Do you think we could like implement that into it?
Like the sound?
Yeah.
Is it
Or would it be
copyrighted?
copyrighted? I
Is it
don't know.
copyrighted?
It might be copyrighted.
Because they use it all the time. But like, there's also
TikTok sounds and shit of it.
I've seen other podcasts use it, but they might pay for it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen like ESPN podcasts and some Barstool podcasts do it. Like the Barstool podcast uses ESPN's like Monday night, or like one of the networks, big networks, like rundown music. You know what I'm talking about? When they're doing like and he could go all the way when they do that shit.
Yeah, like
that
Chris
music,
Berman and shit.
Yeah, they use that music, that same music. So I don't know.
I don't know. You know what? Let's just fucking acapella it just in case. All right. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Nah. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'll go ahead and start the episode. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Going the Distance podcast. Today is April 28th. It is Wednesday night, one night before the NFL draft. It's going to be absolutely crazy. One of the most anticipated drafts I can remember in a long time. I know Elijah just cracked a cold one open, so going to be a good talk today as we go through some mock drafts and whatnot. But before we get into the episode, I got to run through a few quick promos real quick. First off, you all know my name. I'm Ryan Bunnell. You all know Elijah's name by now if you've been tuning in. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can catch all of our podcast episodes on there. Follow our social medias over at GTD_sports. We're on TikTok, Twitter, soon to be Instagram. And you can follow our personal accounts. You see our ats here on the screen at Ryan Bunnell8 and at Elijah Spans. Last but not least, go ahead and subscribe to the GTD Sports newsletter where you can get email notifications on every podcast episode. That way you don't miss out on anything. All right, Elijah, NFL draft week. How we feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I made my first ever mock draft to post on our website. That was really fun. I thought about it a little bit, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do it because it's a shit ton of work. But then you texted me about it, and I was like, fuck, okay. And so I made it, and it was honestly pretty rewarding. It was a lot of fun because you can take a lot of liberties with it. I do have a couple of picks where I really don't think it has no chance of happening, but I just had fun with it because like I can. And,
yeah, I did like a what's it called, simulation kind of one. I didn't go in depth like you did, and I kind of have a couple picks too. Where like for example, I have Justin Fields at number 3, which we can get into that in a bit. But
yeah, but no, fights were really good this weekend. I really enjoyed the fights,
dude. Oh my god, bro! Yes,
I didn't get to fully watch all of them just because I was doing Saturday night festivities.
Yeah, same.
The fights didn't have my full attention, unfortunately, even though I wish they did. Which is, again, I've said this before, time and time again, the biggest thing for also and against UFC is that it's on Saturday night.
Right? Like it's convenient. It's like all one day. You can make it an event if you want, but then
Yeah.
also there's a bunch of other shit happening on
There's a
Saturday
bunch of
night.
Saturday night, you know, like
Yeah.
you could turn it into like, oh, we can host a fight night, almost like a Super Bowl party, almost like
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
anytime there's a big fight, which I've been to some, like when McGregor fights, but like also too when it's just like a really good fight, but not as big of an attraction. You're like, oh, I want to see that, but like if all your friends are going out, like you're probably gonna go do that.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
That's us as college kids though saying that.
Yeah, well, like I went over the weekend. I drove down to Texas A&M in College Station. One of my friends, Colton, who was on the podcast a few episodes ago, he had a ring dunk ceremony, which is
Oh, hell
I
yeah,
don't.
that's huge.
Yeah, I never really knew what it was until now. But they literally, all the seniors at A&M, it's like a tradition. They drop their class ring in a pitcher full of beer, and then they have to chug it to get the ring out. So
It's
I went
awesome.
down there for that on Saturday, and luckily, I don't know who was responsible, how it was managed, but they had a stream up of the fights on the TV at the party. So me and my group of friends, we were all just huddled around right there watching that shit. And we got there in perfect timing to see Chris Weidman absolutely disgustingly, brutally snap his leg in half. Did you get to catch that one?
No, I just missed it, but then I missed it by like such little time that I caught the instant replay of it.
Yeah, it's like right after. Yeah,
like I walked into the room into my friend's house like right after it happened, and they had it up there. And then I got to see the Thug Rose fight, which called it, knew it. I told y'all Thug Rose, especially now that she was up against what's that, communism, since she was fighting against communism.
Weili Zhang.
Yeah, so she was gonna win. And she kicked fucking ass.
I mean, she did. Can't argue that.
Here, look.
I mean, you can just see. So I wanted to point out how we were talking about the Weidman injury. I wanted to show you the video, but I mean, you can just see. Here's like the image. I wrote an article reacting to the fights and everything because this was one of my favorite main events in a while, honestly. Probably since the Adesanya Blachowicz fight. But just look at this picture, bro. I love Thug Rose, man.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see. But
Shevchenko kicked ass again. Was very happy to see that because I wanted her to win again. And then Usman. What else can you say about the guy at this point?
A lot. You can say a lot.
It was a no-brainer that he's going to win that fight.
All right, let me play this video real quick. I'm gonna.
Let's see this.
Yeah, let's see. This is so for those watching the audio. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit.
Bet.
All right. So for those watching at home right now, we're looking at a video of Chris Weidman's leg injury. Oh my god, dude!
That's like there was another injury like that a couple of years ago. Who was that?
Anderson Silva. So
yes.
What's really crazy about this is that this injury literally is like a full circle. Oh my god, he stood on it. He stood on it.
I haven't seen that part yet.
That's the worst part, bro. But yeah, 8 years ago in 2013, Anderson Silva did the exact same injury. But what's so crazy is that Chris Weidman, the guy that broke his leg in this video, was the one defending the leg kick in 2013.
No shit. Okay, we can turn it off now.
Yeah, sorry, I keep replaying. It's. I mean, I want to.
It's Twitter.
I hate watching it, but I can't stop. Like, I don't know what to do.
Holy shit. Yeah. Wow. That's UFC, baby. That's what you're paying for.
UFC. Yeah, exactly, dude. But okay, so yeah, Chris Weidman, I saw that Uriah Hall, he was the guy he was fighting against. Hall is now the first UFC fighter to ever win an event without throwing a single strike. Like literally just stood there and then that shit happened.
Yeah. I mean, they say it all the time in the UFC, like when you bet on underdogs, like anything can happen. That's just another testament to that. Like, literally anything can happen. So it's all possibilities are on the table.
Yeah, and like you mentioned Shevchenko's dominance. I mean, the Weidman, it was a good fight, but it wasn't a main event. There was it was part of the main card, but there was 3 title fights. And the first one was Shevchenko. Like you said, she dominated, literally dominated in every way. I saw the final stat sheet read. She had 5 minutes, 11 seconds of octagon control compared to Jessica Andrade's 57 seconds. And the fight only lasted like 6 minutes. So that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I really am at the point though where I don't think anybody in the women's in like UFC can compete with Amanda Nunes at bantamweight and Valentina Shevchenko at flyweight. Like they're literally just above and beyond better than every female fighter there is.
What do they weigh? I don't understand like the way that they do their weights.
So I remember because I was having a look into it when I wrote my article. Bantamweight for women is 135 and flyweight is 125.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is there anything? Is bantamweight the heaviest?
Yes, for women. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But Amanda Nunes has been dominating that now.
Yeah, she's
for a while.
Fucking animal.
Literally an animal. Yeah, Thug Rose though now. Thug Rose is in the mix.
I love Thug Rose, but like I don't know if any woman on the planet could beat up Amanda Nunes.
Well, Thug Rose is a lot. I think Thug Rose is at 115 pounds, so she would have a lot to go to catch up to Nunes. But I mean, either way, you're right. I don't think they could compete, even if we're comparing them pound for pound. Like Nunes is going to take that all day.
Yeah.
And the Thug Rose, man, that was just awesome to see because one, she's the first female fighter in the UFC to regain a belt after losing it. So like no fighters ever lost the title, come back. So yeah,
first female fighter or first ever fighter?
First female fighter to do it. Okay. Yeah, it's happened before in the male division, but so she lost her belt originally to Jessica Andrade, which is the girl that fought Shevchenko over the weekend, and she got body slammed into the mat, like lost consciousness. And then she actually beat Andrade in a rematch, but it wasn't for the belt. So now she finally got her shot again, and literally first round, fucking head kick to the face. Did you see it too? Like Zhang was mad, bro.
I saw like bits and pieces of it. Like again, I was at an event doing Saturday night festivities, so it was one eye on type beat.
Yeah. Well, right after the knockout, it was somewhat controversial because
it was like a quick call.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a quick call. So like as soon as she made contact, shin to the temple, Zhang just kind of went limp. Like she didn't like fall backwards. She literally just like went dead weight on the ground back. And like as soon as she hit the ground, though, it seemed like she had woke up. But then Rose just jumps on her and starts punching her. And Zhang really didn't move her hands to defend herself or anything. So they called it, which I mean, I get it. After watching the replay, it made a lot more sense why they called it.
Those are scary, man. When they're on the ground, they just start going at it. Like you and if you're not defending yourself, you have to call the fight. Like
you don't
especially
know what
if your hands are like if you can't even get your hands up, like you just have to call the fight.
Yeah, totally defenseless. Yeah, and so but like right after it was called though, Zhang was ready. Like she like jumped up and was like, "What the fuck? What?" Like she was mad, but like I don't know if she really had justification to be mad.
Those fighters, man, they don't know their own selves sometimes in those situations where they're like, no, like I'm good. And it's like, no, you're not good. Like when people get concussed, like I'm fine. It's like, no, you're not.
Well, even Ben Askren, dude, you remember that the 5-second flying knee knockout against Masvidal?
He tried to get back up after that.
No, he said that literally in an interview, he said the next thing he remembered was waking up like in a hospital bed and seeing his wife and going, "Well, I'm here, so I guess the fight didn't go too good, did it?" And then she was like, "No, it did not."
Oh my god!
Like he literally had no clue until he woke up. Like he was kind of like somewhere else.
I mean, you could also think of just like videos of quarterbacks trying to go back in after they've been concussed. Like, what was that guy's name? Where he was playing for the Texans. I think it was TJ Yates.
TJ Yates, I remember.
Where he got hit in the head and he starts doing all this shit and like a dead squirrel, and they put him back in the game because he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." Like, no, you're not,
dude. Yeah, they just give him some Tramadol, coach. Put him on the field. Like, no, dude, you need to go into concussion protocol.
Yeah, you need to sit the fuck down and drink some water, some electrolytes in you too.
Get some Gatorade.
But no, and then the Jose Masvidal fight and Usman. I knew it. I had friends too that were like, "Oh, who'd you bet on?" They're like, "Masvidal, dude, the value like plus 250 or plus 300, whatever he's at." I was like, "Dude, put $100 on Usman right now to hinge it, to hedge it." They're like, "What? Like, you're telling me to put $400 to win $100?" I'm like, "Yes." Yeah, Usman is not losing this fight, and sure enough, like.
I thought about doing that, bro. I really thought about just going all in on that because I had never been more confident about a fight. But I will say I did not expect it to end in a second round knockout. I thought it was going to be like Usman by decision, like he wins nearly
Like
every
last
fight.
time.
Yeah, like last time.
Well, his last two fights have been won by knockout.
That's true. Yeah.
I wonder what the odds were on Usman knockout. That would have been a good play.
It was probably in the plus, probably like plus 100, plus 200 area. I don't know though. I didn't check on that.
Because they took it to the distance easily the first time they fought.
Yeah, because the first time they fought was just so stomping. Yeah.
Sleeper.
It was so boring. And Masvidal was just like laughing up against the cage, even though he was getting dominated. Like, it was kind of annoying. But I will say, Masvidal this time, he took the loss like a champ. Like, he woke up, got in the interview with Joe Rogan. He like gave all the credit in the world to Usman. And then before he even went to the locker room, he took pictures with like every fan that wanted to. So good on Masvidal's part. I thought that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Do you know who Usman's gonna fight next? Guy hasn't gotten hurt yet.
Oh, I wouldn't say that because this is the only fighter that's really questioned or like not questioned, but challenged Usman, and it's Colby Covington.
Okay.
Colby Covington is probably the only logical answer for who's next because they've had beef their entire career in the UFC. Like both of these guys do not like each other. And Colby Covington is one of the most outspoken, honestly annoying fighters in the UFC. But he's damn good at wrestling, like really good. And so I think he's the only person that can kind of match up to Usman. And after, which I still don't think he would win. Usman is going to win without a problem, like no problems. So if Usman was to beat Covington for the second time, I think the only thing that makes sense is to move up or down a weight class and go for champ.
Yeah, he's kind of dominated at this point. So
you see, Conor McGregor called him out.
McGregor did?
Yeah, McGregor said he wants to fight him at 170 for the welterweight title. Not 170 for Conor?
Well, dude, he's done it before.
He has, but he's like his main fighting range is lightweight at 155, and then usually if anything, he would drop down to featherweight at 145.
Was it his first fight with Nate Diaz or his second fight that he fought at 170? I think it was his first fight, right?
No, I think it was his second.
It was his second? Fuck. Because I think... Let me see. I can't remember which one it was, but I know it was one of them. Where it was Nate Diaz I think it was the first one and he lost, and then he won the second one because he went back down to like 160 or 150.
So Nate Diaz won the 170-pound fight, and
that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Conor won the lightweight fight.
Okay.
So yeah, Conor is king of lightweight. Well, I guess you can't really say that because he lost to Poirier, but that's where he dominates. So I don't know if welterweight's really a good idea for him, especially because he didn't even beat Poirier. So I don't know how he thinks he's just going to randomly gain 15 pounds and beat the number one pound for pound fighter, which that's another thing. Do you think Usman's number one pound for pound now?
I mean, he's got to be. Hopefully, the only thing knocking him is just his level of competition that he's been facing in his division.
That's true. Yeah, welterweight really doesn't have anybody else.
He's just been dominating it. Like it's literally like it's him. Like there's no other. Is there really any up and comers right now to be afraid of? Like
in the welterweight division, not that I'm aware of. Maybe, but shit, I don't think anybody's on Usman's level yet. For a while, at least. Yeah, but last thing I wanted to mention about the fight night was, did you see? It didn't really go like viral or anything, but Daniel Cormier, heavyweight legend, he does the play-by-play for UFC. He got in like a yelling match with Jake Paul ringside. Like they were in each other's face, screaming at each other.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I heard about it. And then I don't know. Jake Paul is just doing his best to be a clown.
Yeah, and then DC in an interview said that he said, if Jake Paul wants to fight me, I'm not doing boxing. I don't need the money. I have a bunch of money. And he said, if he wants to fight me, we can do it in the octagon, MMA, and I'm going to hurt the kid. He's like, I'm going to put him on the ground. I'm going to make him bleed and regret everything he's ever said to me. Like, and I'm like, yeah, Daniel.
And he would too.
He would, dude. Like, no questions. Which, I mean,
say
Jake knows that, though.
Yeah, I think I heard somebody say Daniel Cormier must really like that job that he has because the old DC would have just whooped him right then and there.
Dude, yeah, that's funny, actually. Because I mean, dude, he's awesome though at commentating. I love listening to DC.
Yeah, him and Rogan are just really great together.
Yeah, they had a few meme reaction clips over the weekend too, like the whoa.
Oh yeah, I think having fans really hyped them up, which was
for sure. Yeah.
What 19,000 fully packed, maskless.
Yeah, I think so. 19,000. There's like 15 to 20. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting back to normal. That's fun,
dude. Dana White. I love Dana White, man. He fucking carried sports through the pandemic. Like, if you think about it, he really did. Like, he never mentioned politics at all. Never really addressed, like, he did everything by protocol safely. Like, and he made it work. I don't know. Like, he got us back to having fans in the stands basically single-handedly. Like, Dana White runs the whole show himself, and yet these billionaires in the NFL and NBA can't figure shit out.
I don't know. Well, I think the UFC is just a lot easier sport to manage with COVID and all that.
That's probably true.
Like, it's just a couple of athletes instead of like the NFL. You have 100 athletes at the same time.
That's true.
In the same building, so like it's just a lot harder to a lot more people to manage, and especially like that one fighter. I mean, how many people does that guy have in his team? Like 5 to 10. Well, the NFL, how many people are in a coaching staff? Like 20, 30?
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that.
You know, trainers, people in equipment staff. Like, I mean, how many people are in an NFL building at a given time? Like 200, 200, 300?
I mean, yeah, the roster, like at a minimum is what, or at a maximum is like what, 53 usually?
Yeah, it's 53-man roster. So probably close to 200 when you include like everything that, especially nowadays, all the ways that NFL players are catered to, and all.
Yeah, like trainers, the food staff, I'm sure.
Barbers, I mean.
Yeah, team barbers just hanging out in the facility.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's just a lot more to manage, and it goes the same way for like all the NBA and MLB. Like they all have nutritionists on staff and all kinds of trainers and specialists and this and that and all types of coaches, and so that's that. I think that's a lot. That has a lot to do with it and why they've had more problems.
Yeah, I can see that. But I mean, it looks like now next season NFL is going to be kind of back to normal. Hopefully,
Yep. Roger Goodell, I think, said he expects to have full stadiums back this fall.
Oh shit!
So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Except for I'm too poor to go to a game. Goddamn.
I know. If only NFL games were so goddamn expensive. That's why I love baseball. You can go to a game for like $10.
Yeah, exactly. Just literally $10, especially at Ranger Stadium, dude, because Rangers are trash. Well, unless they're playing like one of the best teams, then they're a little bit more expensive. But let's go ahead and get it. We've done enough dilly-dallying on the UFC. We had to get through that recap. It was an iconic fight weekend. We had to talk about it a little bit. But drum roll, please. It is the draft special time. We're about to show Elijah's NFL mock draft and take you through it a little bit and break down some of the picks. Talk about what we think might happen, who might go where. And yeah, let's see if I can get this pulled up real quick.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm really excited for this draft. I think this is going to be a great Thursday night. It's going to be really exciting. I love the spectacle of the draft too. It always, I feel like it usually delivers too.
It does.
And I don't know why, but I get goosebumps too, like right before they announce every pick for like, if they're going to take like somebody exciting right before when Goodell pauses and like the Jaguars selects like that pause. I'm like, I get so excited every time.
Yeah, I get that feeling too, especially, well, I mean, it only really for like the first, I'd say like 20 picks maybe. And I mean, dude, especially this draft, I really like, I can't tell you the last time I remember a draft being this unpredictable, like so many different variables. This could happen. This trade might happen. Like, I really don't remember the last time it was this chaotic.
Yeah, well, it's because we now have 5 quarterbacks that can go in the top 10 easily, very easily. And then you also have a lot of playmakers too, a lot of exciting playmakers. It's not a draft where it's a bunch of edge rushers and O linemen and stuff like that. It's a pure, like, it's an entertainment player draft for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, you talk about even like there's even a few running backs that are being talked about for the first round, like Najee Harris, Travis Etienne. But
yeah, they're late first round though.
It is definitely more of a flashy draft. Like quarterbacks and wide receivers are gonna steal the show. But
Oh yeah,
I've
that's what you get
seen.
excited about.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I've seen a few mock drafts have 4 edge rushers going in the first round.
I have a few. I think I
Yeah,
might have around
let's
that
go ahead
number.
and start with
Let's get
this.
into it.
Yeah.
Oh, but first, before we get into it, you want to do our Would You Rather NFL Draft Edition?
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, I'll go ahead and start on that. Yeah, I forgot about that. We have a special Would You Rather. We've been doing that every week. I think it's been a lot of fun so far doing those.
I like it.
Yeah, it's been fun. So my question for you, Elijah, is would you rather, these are draft themed. So would you rather build your hypothetical NFL franchise around Mac Jones or Justin Fields?
So probably Fields, because Fields has the mobility. And I'm
Okay.
kind of resting sorely on that, especially going forward in the NFL game. Because like if I'm building a team, that means I also have to build my O-line. If I'm starting to build out my O-line, then I'm gonna need my quarterback to get out of pressure and get himself out of trouble with his legs. And Mac Jones can't do that, but Justin Fields can. So that's why I would go with Justin Fields. But if I have an established O-line, that would make it a lot more interesting.
That is true. I think I would also go with Justin Fields, not necessarily because I think he's better, but you did mention the mobility aspect. I think he is a little bit more versatile, like all around. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't knock Mac Jones's mobility too much though, because he's slept on a little bit, his athleticism.
I mean, any quarterback in the college game nowadays is going to be a very good athlete, but like guys like Fields and Trey Lance are just leaps and bounds over, and it's Zach Wilson too. They're just crazy athletes.
Zach Wilson is very athletic.
Of this top 5, like Mac Jones is definitely the worst athlete.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't disagree.
It isn't a knock. It's just the truth.
Yeah. Well, I've been seeing like stuff. It's just crazy to me that Zach Wilson, he's just been balling out ever since pro days, combines, everything started. Like it went from being a complete debate where the Jets were going to go with the second pick. Like I remember about a month ago, some people were saying they may even pick Penei Sewell, the tackle from Oregon. So, and now he's like a minus 1,000 odds lock to be drafted second.
Oh, he's going number 2 for a fact, but we'll get into that later. I listened to a podcast about him today that was a deep dive on him, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. Let me just get you this would you rather question. So, would you rather be able to draft Trevor Lawrence, or you can draft all 3 of Kyle Pitts, Devontae Smith, and Jamar Chase?
Okay, that's tough. I think there's a lot of variables in this question as well. Who's the quarterback?
You have a mid-tier guy.
Mid-tier quarterback.
So like a Jared Goff or a Jimmy Garoppolo.
All right, so if I have a Jared Goff or a Jimmy Garoppolo, like I get that Trevor Lawrence is football Jesus. He's like generational. But I mean, Kyle Pitt, that's 3 top 10 picks. Like, I don't think I could pass up on that. Because I mean, if it's truly like a middle of the pack quarterback, those players around him would make him better. So I mean,
or even like a Jameis Winston. I mean, or what's a later on quarterback? Or a Drew Lock. Drew Lock's your quarterback. That's what
okay. Drew Lock is my quarterback. Well, that makes it harder. Shit.
Yeah.
I think I'm still gonna take all 3 of them: Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase,
all 3 of them,
and Devontae Smith. Yeah. What about you? That one just seems like too much juice to pass up.
I mean, if there's, like you said, like football Jesus, I'd probably have to go with T-Law, because quarterbacks are everything in this league. Those guys can be good pass catchers, but somebody has to make the throws and somebody has to give them the ball. So I'd go with quarterback.
But dude, it's like all 3 of them, bro. Like, I don't know.
I know you would be nuts, but like, I mean, you've seen Tom Brady work with a skeleton crew of a receiving corps and win Super Bowls. So like,
that's a good point. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think of an example where like a bummy quarterback was led by a stacked receiving corps.
You can't. It's always by defense.
It's always typically, defense. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna get
a bummy quarterback. Anyway, so that's that. But showcase this very polished
This glorious mock draft of yours.
So number 1, we got Jaguars picking Trevor Lawrence. Duh. This is a no-brainer. Like, it's happening. We've been knowing it's happening. Urban Meyer took the job with the Jags so he could have the opportunity to work with Trevor Lawrence as his quarterback in the NFL.
That's guaranteed. That's a lock. Zach Wilson, guaranteed. Also a lock. I have the same. Also a lock. So I don't have for those listening, I don't have my podcast, or not my podcast, but my mock draft. I don't know what I was thinking, but my mock draft is not pulled up right now, but I have it next to me. So if I have any different picks than Elijah, we're going to kind of talk about those and see what we think differently. So number 3 is already our first difference. Tell me why you went with Mac Jones, because I know the Niners are rumored to be debating between Jones and Trey Lance.
So I ultimately went with Jones in this scenario because Kyle Shanahan is the guy that wants Mac Jones. And then the personnel staff, like the scouting departments, are the guys that wants Trey Lance. But Kyle Shanahan is your quarterback guru. He's the guy that turns, coals into diamonds. You got to give him what he wants, basically. He's the one who's going to put his hands on him. He's your quarterback guru.
I get that.
And also, too, they said that Mac Jones is like pretty much has all the best traits that Kyle Shanahan has had success with. He's got, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, and like Matt Schaub in him. So like he is who Kyle Shanahan wants because of his anticipation.
Oh, you cut out at the last part. You said that's who Kyle Shanahan wants because of what?
Because his ability to process very quickly, process plays.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I mean, you would never want a situation like Jared Goff coming into the league where he had to sit out an entire year basically to learn the playbook and shit. Like, I don't even understand that happening. But I have a different pick for number 3. I put Justin Fields because, well, the rumors, all the stories, and all the gambling odds even are that Mac Jones and Trey Lance are the favorites. But I went with Justin Fields at number 3 because I think that's what they want you to think. The 49ers want you to think they're going to go with Jones or Lance. They want the other teams in the league to think that. And then they're going to take Justin Fields and completely fuck everybody else's draft schedule, like their plans and whatnot.
Oh, you think?
It's far-fetched, but I don't know. That's my little conspiracy on the Niners pick.
I'd love to agree with you, but the 49ers have been very transparent about who they're drafting the first round in the John Lynch era.
But see, that's another thing. Maybe they're like, oh, they're always going to believe us. I don't know.
That's true. We could see. Okay.
The odds on it, though, are like plus 1,000 for Justin Fields now. So a lot of value in that.
A lot of value.
All right, yeah, let's move on, though.
All right. In this one's definitely not going to happen. This is just what I made because there's news today that the Falcons are definitely staying put at 4 to draft Kyle Pitts. But in this one, I think that the Falcons' best option right now is to trade down and acquire more draft capital because they have holes all over the place and they already have a pretty good offense. They just need to solidify their defense. And so I have the Broncos trading up to acquire the 4th pick. And even though, and then this pick is going to be Trey Lance. And even though they acquired Teddy Bridgewater earlier today for a 6th-round pick, that changes literally nothing in my mind. And it actually makes me like this scenario even more because if the Broncos ultimately do have the opportunity to pick a quarterback, I think it will be Trey Lance because Trey Lance can sit behind Teddy and learn for a year, maybe 2, because Trey Lance is looked at as a project.
Yeah, he has been looked at as a project. And I mean, it is a phenomenal deal, though, essentially. I mean, you're getting Teddy Bridgewater for a 6th-round draft pick. Like, Jesus.
Well, Panthers just didn't want to pay him.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know. It went from like, what, $7 million to now he's getting paid $3 million with the Broncos, I think. Kind of a pay cut.
Yeah, they split it up. The Panthers are paying part of it, but they just didn't want to – I don't know. I think they just want to focus solely on Darnold at this point. But
yeah,
Panthers might also not be completely out of the quarterback market either. I don't know. A lot of moving parts are going on.
I have actually seen some mock drafts with the Panthers taking a quarterback, but I really don't think they should or they will after that trade. But back to the 4th pick with the Falcons, I would agree with you that trading down wouldn't be a bad move because, like you said, they have holes everywhere. They need to fix their defense, and there's no defensive player that's really worth the number 4 pick in this year's draft. So, but the only thing though is like they have Julio, they have Calvin Ridley, they have weapons, but Kyle Pitts, man, is like, I think he's generational, and I don't think they're going to want to pass up on him. And what I'm nervous about is that they're going to trade down this pick, and then Kyle Pitts is, and that means for the Bengals pick, Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, and Penei Sewell will all be available, which is like all 3 they've been rumored to take. So let's go ahead and see. Tell me why you have the Bengals taking Penei Sewell, because I have a little rant about the.
So I really like the idea of the Bengals being able to grab Jamar Chase and put him back up with Joe Burrow because they absolutely raked in LSU together. And that's that's awesome. That would be electric to see in the NFL, and they'd be really good together. However, there is a reason why Joe Burrow has a gigantic scar on his knee right now, and that's because he couldn't get fucking protection. And you need to protect your quarterback. It doesn't matter how awesome him and a wide receiver would be if he can't even get the ball out of his hands because he's too busy running for his life. Get the man protection. Give him a stalwart at left tackle.
And it's not even like just like it's any left tackle. Penei Sewell is literally the best tackle prospect to come into the draft in the last decade. This man has allowed a single sack in over 1,300 snaps. That is unheard of for anything the Bengals have ever put onto the field. Like, yeah, you mentioned it, Joe Burrow's scar. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was front and center in their new uniform announcement. Their new stripes or whatever. They're kind of cool, but kind of modern. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, and the best reference I have for that is, it's kind of corny, but you can't have a nice sports car if you don't have insurance, right? It's just going to sit in your garage all day. Yeah. You're going to have to drive a Beamer. Like, it doesn't matter who we have if it's going to be Brandon Allen, the second string quarterback, throwing the passes to them because Brandon Allen can't do shit. Hate to break it to him. But yeah. I just, as a Bengals fan, I have endured years of pain, okay? And this is what I feel like is an opportunity to make amends with the Bengals fan. They've drafted a lineman in their last 2 first rounds, but goddamn, neither one of them worked out. Billy Price is terrible. Jonah Williams has been injured most of his career already. Hopefully Williams works out maybe now that he's healthy, but who knows on that. And a few years ago, we had a first round flop, John Ross at number 9. Are you kidding me? It's been years of pain. And so I really, really would like to see them just go with the safe pick, the pick that the fans actually want. Because I don't know, Mike Brown, he's not a terrible general manager, but he's not the best. And I could totally see this dude taking Jamar Chase solely because of the reason, like you said, to bring Joe Burrow and him back from that LSU team, which would be awesome to see. Don't get me wrong. I would love to watch that, but I'm just terrified that Joe Burrow is never going to be able to have a successful career. Because could you imagine we don't draft a lineman this draft, like Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater, anybody, and then Joe Burrow gets hurt again, dude. Fans would never let live that down. Even non-Bengals fans would never live that down because it's like Joe Burrow, he's supposed to be this generational kid, and now we're like never going to get to see his full potential because the dicks in the suits want to see a flashy wide receiver play. Like I don't know. That's my little rant on the Bengals. Hopefully they don't fuck it up tomorrow night and we see an offensive tackle get taken off the board. But yeah, moving on. Elijah, let's hear your number 6 pick.
So in my little draft scenario, I have the Dolphins taking Kyle Pitts. If it's in between like Pitts, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle, even though the latter two were teammates of Tua Tagovailoa, Kyle Pitts is an absolute freak. He shouldn't go any further than 6th. He'll most likely go at 4th at this point. But in this little situation, I got the Dolphins taking Pitts.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think if Pitts does slip past the Falcons, I agree the Dolphins should and will take him probably.
Be the last
But
stop.
yeah, in my mock draft, I have Jamar Chase going to the Dolphins just because in my mock draft I don't have any receivers taken at that point, and I think he's the best receiver in the draft. What about you? Actually, like let's get that out of the way. Who do you think is the best receiver? Because there's like a lot of debate around that.
Jamar Chase.
Okay,
he's got the frame.
We're on the same page then. Yeah.
He's got the size, and it's just kind of like Devontae Smith is great, but like Jamar Chase has everything you need and the tools and the traits and the physical capabilities of a NFL wide receiver. So
yeah, I think if even if he had played this past season, because he sat out an entire year. So if Jamar Chase had played this last season, I wouldn't be surprised if people were talking about him going like top 3, like he's crazy athletic.
Well, he probably would be, except of all these quarterbacks that everybody's scrambling for already. So,
But is what it is.
Go to pick number 7. This is my second and last trade that I cooked up for this NFL draft. I thought about doing more, but then it got really complicated and I kept on going back and forth on a lot of stuff. So I just kind of stopped it after this. I said that the Lions are going to trade down with the New England Patriots to acquire Justin Fields. The Patriots are reportedly enamored with Justin Fields, and they want to leap above the Panthers to get him. And, that's pretty much why I'm going with this. Bill Belichick has never been – I don't think he's ever traded up in the first round to draft a guy, but he's also never spent an exorbitant amount of money in free agency. So he's doing a lot of things, thinking outside the box. He needs to realize that he needs to pick a guy in the first round to get this. The only thing I could see stopping a move to draft Fields is that if he had the opportunity to draft Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I really haven't heard much about the Patriots being like enamored with Fields though, because like my first assumption was that Mac Jones fits more the Patriots' offensive scheme. Like he fits their style more. And originally he was who the Patriots were interested in, I heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has been kind of new. I've read it on Twitter and a little bit on Reddit, is that the Patriots want their guy. They even reportedly tried to trade up to 4 with the Falcons to try and take Fields. But
wow.
What would
they have to give up for that?
Price, but probably King's ransom. I mean,
yeah.
Especially 15-4. It's a lot of future first round picks.
Yeah, I don't think that would be worth it even, because who knows? I mean, maybe Justin Fields goes early, but these guys are all top caliber quarterbacks. Like I really don't think you're going to go wrong with the top 5.
Yeah. All right, moving on to number 8. Here's where our first receiver goes off the board, Jamar Chase. Like I said, he's the best wide receiver in this draft class. Panthers can't afford to pass him up. Panthers might also take a cornerback, either in J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain II. But at this point, in this scenario, in my head, if Jamar Chase is still available, then the Panthers have to go ahead and take him, because it would put Sam Darnold in the best position to succeed with weapons like Robbie Anderson and why am I blanking on them? They're big. DJ Moore.
DJ Moore's pretty good. Yeah, Robbie Anderson's underrated though. I think Robbie Anderson's pretty good.
He had a really good year last year, and CMC. So like,
which CMC is a passing threat too out of the backfield. Yeah, I agree that the Panthers should go with the receiver, but I've seen mock drafts all over the place. I've seen the Panthers take in a quarterback even. I've seen them go in wide receiver, linebacker with Micah Parsons I've seen, and like you said, cornerback. So this is, I think, going to be one of the more interesting picks, unpredictable, that could shape like how the rest of the first round goes. On my mock draft, I have for my 6th, 7th, and 8th pick, I have 3 receivers in a row. Jamar Chase to the Dolphins, Jalen Waddle to the Lions, and then Devontae Smith to the Panthers. But they could also go in any order. I mean, I really...
Yeah. No, well, I think the Panthers are in a really interesting position because they can make any number of moves, and I don't think any of them would be the wrong move.
Exactly. Yeah, I think any of these guys that have been rumored to go to them in the mock drafts and stuff, I don't think they're really a bad decision.
Yeah, I think it's the best best decision for the Panthers to stand pat at 8, even though there's been rumors of them maybe trading up or even trading down. I think they should stay at 8 and pick probably the best player available.
I think the only way they should trade down is if they're planning on drafting Micah Parsons, the linebacker out of Penn State, because I think he will be available in like the teens, like early teens. Mm-hmm. So if they could manage that, that'd be a good move, I think. But I think they should get a receiver just to help. Yeah.
All right. At number 9 with the Falcons, I have who traded down with the Broncos. I have them taking Rashawn Slater, the second best tackle in this draft. Some people even have him as the best tackle in this draft. But in my whole thing with rebuilding teams, I think that before you do anything, you get a good O-line, because a good O-line makes your entire offense better. It makes your running backs better. It gives your quarterback more time to throw, and giving your quarterbacks more time to throw makes your receivers better. So that's kind of my thought process with this, because they have holes all over. They should probably also go defense, but I don't know that Rashawn Slater, if they're saying if he is possibly better than Sewell, then the Falcons shouldn't pass him up.
Yeah, I think Slater is the top 10 talent. Like, he's worthy of a top 10 pick too. I personally think, from what I've seen, that Sewell is the better prospect. But I have heard that theory that Slater's pretty good. I agree. I like that pick though at 9 with the Falcons. Mine's a little bit different, of course. I didn't have that drop down, so I still have the Broncos at number 9, and I actually have the Broncos taking Trey Lance at number 9, which is where you had them taking him at number 4. So I think that they could still be able to come away with him at number 9. It's just whether or not they're going to want to risk it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of clamoring, I think, as soon as for teams to trade up and draft a quarterback, especially starting with 7, because I think it seems to me at this point that the Falcons are going to stand pat. The Bengals aren't going to trade down. They definitely want their opportunity to draft a difference maker for their offense. Mm-hmm. And then the Dolphins already traded back up, so I don't see them trading back down again. They might though, because they're frisky. I don't know. Who knows what they got planned going on?
They've been doing some weird stuff even in free agency. Like, did you see they just sent, who was it, like Eric Fowler's back to Washington a year after they signed him? Like, they literally just lost money on him.
I don't know. Who knows, man? But it's working for them because
they're winning.
Yeah,
they're winning more games. Shit.
Ever since they got Brian Flores, so I think they're in a great position to succeed. But anyway, moving on to my 10th pick, to my Dallas Cowboys. I have them picking Patrick Surtain, cornerback out of Alabama. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. And if he is at 10, the Cowboys should absolutely lock him up and put him in a Cowboys uniform, because he would be great as a pair with his former Alabama teammate, Trevon Diggs. And I would love to see him help shore up our horrible Cowboys defense.
Yeah, I agree with this pick 100%. Cowboys should definitely take a cornerback. I think Patrick Surtain's the best option. A lot of people, I've seen some mock drafts with Caleb Farley up here, but I don't think he's as good as Surtain. I think Surtain's better.
I'd rather go with Surtain.
Yeah.
It's hard to win SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
So down to number 11 now. You have the Giants staying. Interesting. Okay, I have the Giants trading down in mine. So tell me why you have the Giants staying at 11. Yeah.
So I have the Giants staying at 11 to pick Devontae Smith, because part of their offseason program was to put Daniel Jones in a position to succeed by signing Kenny Golladay to a massive contract, adding some corners in defense, but they need to continue to add that, and would make a elite receiving core for Danny Dimes over here with Kenny Golladay. God, what's their guy that they had last year that's decent? Slater.
From who are you talking about again?
For the Giants.
Receiver, are you saying? Slayton?
Yeah, receiver. Slayton. Yes, Darius Slayton. God. Sorry,
I didn't hear the first part. Yeah. Darius Slayton, he's a beast.
And Evan Ingram paired up with Devontae Smith. That'd be a wet dream for Giants fans.
Yeah, I would like that too. I think the Giants are going to trade down, but if they don't, I think a wide receiver would be the best move for them. So in my mock draft, It's kind of interesting. You have the Patriots trading up a little bit higher than me. I have the Patriots trading to 11. There's been rumors that the Giants are going to trade down. And actually, I don't know how true this is, but the Los Angeles Chargers Twitter account tweeted, like, this just in, we're picking 11th. And, like, it was like a graphic they had created showing that, like, the Giants receive the 13th pick and a second round next year, and then the Chargers receive the 11th pick in this year's draft. So it was like, and they like instantly deleted it, and then people were like, "Oh, what?" So like,
no way.
Nobody knows, but I don't know. I think the Giants have definitely been entertaining offers to trade down.
I don't know.
So I'm curious to see what they do. I have them trading down so the Patriots can come up and take Mac Jones, but I'm starting to think the more I talk about it, the more I look at it, that Mac Jones is probably going to go to the 49ers. So
that's one of the reasons why I love the draft so much. There's so much smoke and mirrors. There's a lot to get into. So many rumors and so many possibilities. So much room for activities.
So much room for activities. Step Brothers quote.
So, yes, sir. So then at 12, I got Eagles taking Jalen Waddle. They have to. I thought about having them trade up for a quarterback, but ultimately didn't, because I think they'll probably try and give Jalen Hurts a full year to maybe try and be the guy before they'll probably be in the quarterback market next year, though, I will say. But they're going to get another weapon because their wide receiver core is still hot garbage.
Yeah, I have the Eagles here taking J.C. Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina. They need help on defense, so that's just my reasoning behind it, really. And mostly because on my mock draft, Waddle's already gone. But this move would make sense if he's available, I think, too.
Yeah. And then at 13 with the Chargers, I've been picking the third best tackle in this draft, Christian Darrisaw. I think they just want to protect Justin Herbert's blind side. There's really not – I don't know too much about Darrisaw. I've just went through a bunch of big board rankings through all the main guys like McShay and Daniel Jeremiah and Kuiper and all that, and they all have Darrisaw at 3. So I think that the Chargers need to grab a tackle there. They could also, if Rashawn Slater is available, or they are definitely picking him, they could even trade up to get Rashawn Slater, which would be awesome for Chargers. That's basically what I would say about that pick.
Yeah, I think Chargers need to go with O-line here too. Same situation as not same situation as the Bengals, but they got their guy in last year's draft. He's a stud. They need to protect him and build around him. Yep. I think O-line's the best move for them. And either option, I mean, Darrisaw is not bad. He's a good offensive line prospect. It's just he's kind of getting overshadowed by these studs of Sewell and Slater. So yeah, and then down. Let's go ahead and skip. Maybe let's skip to like the Micah Parsons pick, because Micah Parsons been probably one of the bigger names on the defensive side of the board. He's just also been everywhere, like all over the place on the mock draft. So another reason why I made this lines. I think the Lions are going to trade down is because they've been linked with Micah Parsons to really like him. And Dan Campbell wants guys that'll bite your kneecaps off, and that's definitely what Micah Parsons will do, because he's just a freak in nature. Yeah, he's very versatile.
Yeah, so he's one of those guys. And so I think that the Lions are in a position at 7 where they could trade down and still be able to grab Micah Parsons.
That'd be a phenomenal move on the Lions' part, though. Trade down and still come away with Parsons.
Yeah.
I think it's totally doable, too. Totally doable.
Absolutely. They need to trade down.
Yeah, I could see that happening. All right, J.C. Horn to South. Okay, yeah, I could see that happening.
Patrick Peterson replacement. Not much more than that.
Here's what I want to talk about. Raiders right here at 17. You have them taking Trayvon Moore at TCU. I would love to see this, considering, we go to TCU. It'd be cool to see, but I have Moore going a little bit later in my draft at 25 to the Jaguars.
Yeah, he could go pretty much. This is where we start talking about him. He's definitely going to go in the 20s if he doesn't go here. The Raiders have been no strangers to picking safeties in the first round in this range. And if they find out they like, and safety is one of their needs. So if they like him a lot, I could see him taking more at the spot.
Yeah, where do I have the Raiders going with? I have the Raiders taking offensive linemen just because like their O-line used to be considered one of the best in the league, and last season it was one of the lowest rated lines in the league. So I just think because I mean, who is it I have him taken? Elijah Vera Tucker from USC. It's just there's a lot of good linemen in this draft. Like there's a lot of good linemen.
It's deep but lacking elite prospects outside of Slater and Sewell.
You're right. Yeah,
that's how it's been described. But no, I like that pick a lot. Actually, the Raiders went and did that because they've like completely redone their O-line this past offseason.
Yeah, weird. Like completely. It's weird. It's not even the same like line essentially. But I mean, if you look at teams like the Cowboys, they have like a whole new line almost because they've gotten fucked over with injuries.
Yeah, injuries and just guys getting older. But no, I think the Raiders had like 4 guys go away. Maybe like it's definitely 3. I think it's 4. So I could definitely see him going with the guard out of USC too.
Yeah. All right. And then here is where people think the edge rushers are going to start going. You and I have a pretty similar section right here, except for the Bears pick. First, I want to talk about the edge rushers. Do you think Kwity Paye is the best edge rusher in the draft?
He's been seen as the safest pick. I don't know if he's the best, but some of the other guys have seen a little bit riskier. The thing with this draft is because there's no quote-unquote war daddy to kind of, that you need to go get. No Myles Garrett's or Bradley Chubbs this year. So the Dolphins do need help on the defensive side of the ball because they have gotten rid of some guys like Kyle Van Noy and a couple other guys that they've signed recently. So I could easily see him going with the defensive side of the ball to help strengthen up their defense, which is already really good defense.
I have the exact same pick. Same reasoning. I think Kwity Paye is going to be available here. And like you said, I don't know if he is the best option, but I would say he's the safest option just based off his skill set and build and everything like that. My favorite, though, is a little bit of a riskier pick is Gregory Rousseau. I really like Rousseau out of Miami. I think he's a beast. But what's his teammate's name? There's 2 players out of Miami that are like potential first rounders.
Oh my goodness.
He's an edge rusher too.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. Is Rousseau the guy who's medically redshirted in 2018?
I would have to fact check that. I'm not entirely sure.
Because there is another guy who used to play. Fuck, I wish I could use more than my phone right now for the stream, but
broken computer, it'd be like that.
Yeah. But
here, I mean, I can look that up.
Yeah, let's do that. And
what are we looking up?
Just look up Miami edge rushers NFL draft.
Okay.
And then at 19,
so Jalen Phillips, that's his name. Jalen Phillips. That's right. Yeah, I knew he's been talked about in the first round too, but I just think Gregory Rousseau is a little bit better.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys this year that are looking, a lot of edge rushers that are like, this guy could sneak into the first round, but he's definitely a day 2 pick. There's a lot of those edge rushers like that, like bottom of the first round could, or like day 2. I don't know.
All right, now I want to hear why you have the Bears going with Davis Mills.
Okay, so kind of like I said right here in this first sentence in my blog is that name a better duo, Ryan Pace and reaching for a quarterback. You can't.
That's a good point, but dude, I don't. Oh man, imagine being a Bears fan and they take Davis.
Well, it's just the life of a Bears fan. So he is the 6th best quarterback in this draft, but he is miles away from the other 5 guys.
Miles, yeah.
In terms, he is not. He is a day 2 prospect, which means if I were a GM, I'd probably pick him in the 2nd, maybe even the 3rd round. He's got a lot of physical traits that you look for in a guy. He's got great size. He's 6'4". He's got really good arm strength. However, he doesn't have a lot of tape out there and not a lot of very impressive tape. So I don't know, but I could see this as a guy who has some of the intangibles that you look for in a quarterback, and the Bears just falling in love with him and doing Bears things, and just
it would be a very Bears move to take Mills here.
Kind of like the same thing that happened with Jordan Love last year is that, a team will fall in love with the guy in the 20s and then just go ahead and pick him before a team will grab him in the second round.
Yeah. Speaking of Jordan Love, I've heard there's rumors now that Green Bay is considering trading him after they publicly stated that Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback for the foreseeable future.
That's so dumb.
It is so dumb. That's another pick
in the first place.
Yeah, that's another pick I want to get into is the Packers pick, but we'll get there in a second. Yeah, so the Bears, I have them going tackle. It would be a very Bears move to take that, but let's see here. I have the same thing, actually. I have Rashad Bateman going to the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Jets, Najee Harris. Interesting. You have him going to the Jets.
Yeah, so this is kind of one where it's just me thinking. I know the more likely scenario is him going to the Steelers. But
That's where I have
him. Jets. Yeah, so I have him going to the Jets because one of the reasons why the Jets love Zach Wilson so much is because of his play action ability. And who's going to give him the best chance for success off the play action is a great running back like Najee Harris. So that's kind of the reason.
As a Jets fan, though, how exciting would that be to come out of the first round with a new quarterback and a new running back? Shit.
Yeah, if I were the Jets, I do not want Zach Wilson handing the ball off to Frank Gore. I'm sorry. I love Frank Gore. He's, NFL great, but he's not your running back of the future. And so
or even past next season if he can survive, dude.
No kidding. But so yeah, that's why I have them going Najee Harris. I could also see them go guard with Elijah Vera-Tucker if he's available right here. That'd probably be the more sensible pick because kind of, the theme that we've been going on. If you have a young quarterback, give him a line to protect him.
Yeah. I actually have the Jets going defense here. I had them taking Greg Newsome out of Northwestern, the cornerback.
Okay.
It was a little bit just because they need to fill gaps all around. But the way you mentioned that, I would actually be excited to see Najee Harris go to the Jets. That would be an interesting pick. I just think it's more likely that he's going to fall to the Steelers. Because, the Steelers also, who's their running back now? James Conner is gone.
Yeah, they don't really have one.
Yeah, they don't even have one.
They're probably in the running back market. But, thing with the running back, too, is, you can wait till day two. You can wait till the second or third round to pick a guy and still feel really comfortable with who you have.
Yeah, that's actually kind of something I wanted to bring up with you is where do you think running backs in modern day NFL drafts should be valued? Because I was reading an article the other day and I saw that since 1963, there have only been 3 NFL drafts that have not included a running back in the first round, and all 3 of them have been since 2013. So, and also on top of that, in 1980s, 20% of first round picks were running backs. And then fast forward to the last 5 years, only 5% of first round picks were running backs. So where do you think they should be valued nowadays?
If they're great, bottom of the first round.
Wait, do you think there's
I would not spend a top 10 pick on a running back. Just look at I love Zeke. With the Cowboys, he was great his rookie year. He was great in his first contract, but up until his second contract, he hasn't been that good. And if I draft a guy with the 4th overall pick, I want him to live up to that second contract. And with running backs, you're really not getting that. Look at a guy, look at Leonard Fournette, who was drafted 4th overall by the Jaguars. He didn't even get a second contract from the Jags. He was cut.
Yeah.
Look at Todd Gurley, who was picked 10th overall. He got a second contract, and they wanted to get rid of him so bad they traded him for pennies to the Falcons, or they cut him. They didn't even trade him; they cut him. So, no, absolutely not. I would not draft a running back in the first 10 picks, not even the first 16. I'd look for running backs in the 20s maybe if he's a stud.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say that if there's a running back that comes out of college winning 2 Heisman awards, he's a freak of nature, that would be a different story. But especially in the last few years, running backs have just been so disposable, like so disposable. You can look at it even from a fantasy football point of view. Like your starting running back goes down, what do? You just pick up his backup, even if it's like a no name. That's just what you do because like they're gonna get yards. They're gonna get like running backs are disposable. Well, certain ones, I will say that. There are some running backs that are above, like levels above the rest of the crew in the NFL. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they should really only be valued at the end of the first round, like basically where they're valued right now.
At most.
People have said like Najee Harris is expected to go in the 20s, like probably to the Steelers at 24. But I've even seen people have Travis Etienne out of Clemson going like pick 30, like late 30.
I mean, look at the best guys in the league right now. Alvin Kamara, 3rd round. Dalvin Cook, 2nd round. Joe Mixon, 2nd round. I mean, Saquon Barkley, different story. But like,
he's one of those guys that I think is just like
he's the rare exception, which there's always exceptions to every rule.
Yeah, shit.
I mean, I'm trying to
Barkley
think of
is just one of those freaks of nature, man. Which I really want to see him play, dude. I just want to see him play. He's been hurt.
Another thing about running backs too is they hardly ever live up to their 2nd contract because they're just so beat up and they take so many hits. So that's another thing too.
That's very true. All right, let's see here. Is there any other debatable picks coming out?
I want to talk about my. Which one are you going to point out?
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say either the Ravens pick or the Packers pick. We could talk about.
Yeah, I like the Packers. We could talk about the Packers here. Wait, tell me about the Ravens though, because I have some. I have them going with Terrace Marshall too.
Yeah, just because they need a big body at wide receiver. They've slacked so much the position the past couple of years. Just please give Lamar Jackson a weapon. So that's pretty much that. And
at least somebody that's bigger than Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, all their receivers are undersized. So I mean, they had Des Bryant last year, but like he's a shell of his former self. So,
and he wasn't even there the whole time. All right, Packers pick now. I have them going same exact route. Kadarius Toney.
Really?
Exactly what you said. Packers fan rejoice. Like they have needed to take a wide receiver now for a few years, and I think this is finally the draft they're going to do it. I really don't know what else they could do with this pick. I would just hate to see it for Packers fans because I mean I have nothing against Packers fans, so it would kind of suck for them to just suffer on that. I guess you may have something against the Packers because Des caught it and whatnot.
No, I actually don't. I actually, for some reason, really like Aaron Rodgers, even though he's killed my dreams time in and time out. I don't know. I don't know why. It's I even though I'm kind of supposed to, but I do. I like Aaron Rodgers. But Kadarius Toney would be awesome for the Packers because think about who they already have on the roster. They all have big body guys. They have Devontae Adams. They have Alan Lazard, and they have Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Those are all big bodies. Kadarius Toney is more of a slot receiver, and he excels in the slot. So he would be perfect on the inside with Devontae and Lazard lining up on the outside. I mean, that would just give Aaron Rodgers would have a field day with this guy. Yeah. I'm hoping that Kadarius falls to the Packers and they pick him. Apparently, they really like Rashad Bateman, but Rashad Bateman's another big body guy, and I think he might be gone at that point. And I think
he will be too.
I think the best fit for the Packers right now is Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, I agree, like wholeheartedly, exactly what you said. You hit the nail on the head with that. He would be a great playmaker for their offense. Fit perfectly. I think Bateman is a better receiver overall. But I do think he's going to be gone by here. And that would be tough, though. If Bateman was still available, that would be a tough decision. But I think you're right, though. Toney fit. They probably would, just straight up. But I think Toney is like kind of their missing piece, per se. Because when you look at it, Rodgers has had incredible success with like those smaller slot guys. Like you can consider Jordy Nelson a slot guy, even.
Well, Devontae Adams does a lot of stuff out of the slot too. But
yeah, because he's fast enough to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another pick I really like is if ETN to the Bills. The Bills have a glaring hole at running back, and it just gives Josh Allen some relief to have a guy to hand the ball off to, or maybe dump off for some screenplays, because ETN is versatile in the pass game. So that's probably.
I would like that pick actually. That'd be fun to see, because I mean that'd be also just the Bills are a young team right now in general. So if they could get a running back as well to build around, that'd be a good move. I have the Bills going with an edge rusher, Gregory Rousseau, the one we were talking about earlier, just because like they have Jerry Hughes, who's getting really old at this point. You probably remember Hughes. Hughes is a TCU player.
Yeah,
he's like
TCU.
a legend. But he's been the captain of their defense for quite some time now, and he's just probably getting to the point where he needs a replacement. And I think Rousseau would be a great fit. So I think those are really the only other debatable picks. I mean, these both make sense. I have the same thing. Tevin Jenkins going to the Bucks. So yeah, I have a linebacker going to the Ravens. Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing though, now I wanted to get in is we kind of talked about it a little bit, is like the red flags before draft night and stuff like that.
Yeah. Can you pull up? Did I send you that Reddit post? Can you pull that up?
Yeah. Give me a second. I'll pull it up.
All right. But kind of in honor of draft week, I saw this Reddit thread about like dumbest red flags that we've ever seen of like why a guy didn't get drafted or a guy got taken off a team's draft board, and some of them are pretty ridiculous.
Some of them are very ridiculous.
Yeah, here, I'll pull it up on my phone while if you get the visual up on here.
Yeah, I'm getting it up right now. I'm working on
it. Saved. Okay, so excuse me. Damn.
All right, here we go. I think I got it now.
All right, bet. So Mike Singletary took Matthew Stafford off his draft board because Stafford didn't want to talk about his parents' divorce.
That's ridiculous, bro.
I know, right?
That's just comedy, though, at this point.
Yeah. I think Singletary was the head coach of the 49ers or the Bears at that point.
I don't even remember. But yeah, this Reddit thread, I read through most of it, and there's some funny ones that I didn't even remember. Like, I remember this name, DeBrickashaw Ferguson. I just remember the name because it was an iconic name. Like, who names their child DeBrickashaw? I mean, it's kind of cool, honestly, if you ask me. But his commitment to football was questioned because he enjoyed playing the saxophone as a hobby. That's fucking ridiculous. That's kind of like I remember last year, I think it was last year, Mekhi Becton, the lineman that went to the Jets, he had his commitment to football questioned because he had a passion for cooking. Like,
oh yeah, because they said that he liked cooking so much, and they thought that would contribute to his weight.
Yeah, it's like, bro,
they thought he'd get fat. That's kind of funny.
Like, the fact that he can cook probably means he can make himself healthier options, you know? Like,
apparently this one's kind of not ridiculous, but it is kind of ridiculous what they pulled is that Tampa Bay had someone sit in Justin Blackmon's favorite bar, the wide receiver out of Baylor, every day to see how often he'd come in to drink. And after Blackmon kept coming in, they took him off their board, which is honestly a pretty good call because he did end up falling out of league because of substance abuse. But it's funny that that teams go this. And then this article about they roasted the JJ Watt pick and said it was bad because JJ worked as a pizza delivery man. And he was too nice, and the Texans should have drafted Nick Fairley because he's mean.
Well, that pick seemed to work out for the Texans. I mean, shit. Well, now it's not so much because he's gone, but I mean, he had a hell of a career with them. I remember, too, a few years ago, Laramie Tunzel. He was another lineman. I think he plays for the Dolphins right now, I'm pretty sure. But he was a top 10 pick projected, and there was literally like hours before the draft happened. there was a video of him smoking weed out of a gas
Oh
mask
yeah,
bong.
the gas mask.
Yeah, it was huge. It
Um,
blew up like everywhere before the draft.
No, that happened at the draft.
Like it was okay, well, yeah, because I
It
just remember
happened
it
at the
happening like
draft.
on Twitter like seconds before and stuff, and like he fell, like he
Yeah.
plummeted on the board and stuff like that. But he still got taken first round.
Yeah, he got taken 13th, but he was not supposed to go 13th. He was supposed to go like
Top 10.
that was the year where the Rams traded up to take Goff, and the Titans, or I think it was the Titans that were at that spot, and they were rumored to take Tunzel at first overall. So I mean, the dude basically slid from first overall to 13th because of a gas mask bong pick.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. It's pretty funny though, shit. From a fan's perspective. What other ones are there? There's been a lot that I've seen. Like I read that Tampa Bay had someone. Yeah, this is the bar one. Like, jeez, dude. Oh wait, I gotta read the whole discussion. JJ Watt.
There was questions about Myles Garrett's commitment and toughness because he liked dinosaurs.
What the fuck? That doesn't even make sense. This says Jim Schwartz reportedly gave Matthew Stafford a hard time because he didn't show up to his draft interview completely clean shaven.
Yeah. And then just a lot of one that comes up is like if guys have just like any sort of passion or commitment outside of football, their commitment to football gets questioned. Like Josh Rosen was a guy because he had options outside of football to make a lot of money. Was questioned because he had options. But I mean, the guy's been kicked and tossed around the league and should probably be out if he didn't love football already, but he's still trying to make it on teams right now. So that's kind of a bogus one too.
I think this one's pretty funny. The Mariota one.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, it says Marcus Mariota is such a nice guy that like his biggest red flag was that he had no red flags. That's pretty funny. I mean, shit, maybe it was a red flag because I mean he doesn't have a starting job anymore. Yeah, but there's just a bunch of them, dude. Like, is there any this year? Because I mean, there's been people talking about Justin Fields questioning, his work ethic and whatnot.
Yeah. I've heard Trevor Lawrence doesn't love football. I don't know what's because I think like his high school coach said something like, "Oh, if he wanted to walk away from the game right now, he could," or something.
Why would he?
I don't know. No, I don't know. So that's been one that's tossed around. I don't know. I haven't. These things usually come out after the draft, but they always seem to stay pretty ridiculous. But the NFL's kind of got better in the last like 5-10 years, I think, because I haven't seen as many, but there used to be a lot where it's just like, really, that's why you're taking them off your draft board?
Like they're stretching way too hard. I saw even on this year's draft, the Eagles, one of the Eagles front office people, I forgot his name, one of the executives, he said that during like Zoom interviews and stuff with the athletes, the prospects, he would literally play them in rock, paper, scissors to measure their level of competition.
Oh, that was Sirianni, their head coach.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the actual video. I just saw like a report on it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Imagine being an athlete and then like you're like super nervous to like talk to the coaches and stuff, and then all of a sudden they're like, "All right, son, put your fist up, play me rock, paper, scissors." Like that would just be so weird.
I'd be like, "Fuck off."
It's like, do I have to?
Can we talk about the playbook?
Yeah, like, sir, I need to learn these plays if you're gonna pick me. Yeah.
Can you just pick my brain real quick about what I understand about my offense or defense? Okay.
All right.
Love it or loathe it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think it's just about that time. I'll go ahead and take the first set.
All right.
All righty. So for those of you that don't know, this is everybody's favorite segment, Love It or Loathe It. Here we fire off some rapid topics that have been happening over the last week in sports. We try to keep the time to a minimum. We get through them as fast as possible. If we love it, we're going to stop and talk about it for a little bit. If we loathe it, we're just going to say it and move on. So Elijah is going to start off with throwing the topics at me, and I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, Spotify founders seeking to attempt a joint bid in the range of £2 billion alongside Arsenal legends Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp.
All right. So I love this one. You guys, if you've listened, you probably already know I'm a massive Arsenal fan. You can even see the little scarf there in the background. I love it. I have been a big proponent of hashtag Kroenke out, who Stan Kroenke is the owner of Arsenal, who also owns the Los Angeles Rams, amongst other teams in America. Kroenke has ruined Arsenal. Okay. He's taken the love of the game out of it and completely made it like money, basically. Like everything is about making money to him. He doesn't really care what the fans want. And so now to finally see after protest that somebody who truly cares about the team is trying to buy the team and make a difference and change it. So it would be great to see the Spotify owner. That'd be awesome. I mean, especially too with some Arsenal legends. Like that'd be great. I will say though, it's Thierry Henry. Just want to say that.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's they're
weird.
European.
It's weird.
They're European,
Yeah.
so it's a little different. So FC Schalke fans halt the team bus and chase their own players with eggs in an angry mob after being regulated to the second division of the Bundesliga.
I love this. It was fucking hilarious, dude. I don't know if you saw the video, but this team has done so bad this season. They got kicked out of the top league into the second tier league, and their own fans after the game were surrounding the bus to the point where the players had to get off and run for their lives, and people were chasing them with eggs and shit, pelting them. Like, it was just chaos. So I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, moving on.
You'd never see that in America.
Exactly, yeah.
Baylor women's basketball coach and Hall of Famer Kim Mulkey leaves the program for LSU. Wow.
I loathe it. It's that she's a legend, been there 21 years, one of the best coaches in the country. Moving on.
The Pioneer League has opted to do a new form of extra innings by having a home run derby instead of a traditional option.
I love it. I saw this. It's really interesting. It's going to definitely speed up the game of baseball. It would be more fun, I think, for the fans, but will it change the outcome of games? Definitely, like 100%, so I wonder how that will work out. I don't think anything like that will ever come to the MLB, but I think it's cool to see something different. I like it.
All right. The Knicks secretly tried to acquire Michael Jordan in 1996.
I heard about this too. I loathe it. Knicks are always trying to get the big names.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, I think you're going to love this. Warriors become the first team to launch their own NFT collection.
I do love this, bro. I do. If you guys listen to a few of our past episodes, we talk about NBA Top Shot, which is in NFT format, digital collectibles. I think it's the future. I love it. Good to see the Warriors on board.
Do you think it'll compete with Top Shot?
I don't. I don't think it will yet. Maybe. I mean, it depends on how the platform is. I don't really know. I haven't used it per se. So
I don't know. It might drive some of your cards' value down.
Hey, I'm in it for the long haul. Okay.
Right.
I believe.
Antonio Brown signed a $6 million deal with the Bucks. With his signing, the Bucks bring all 22 of their Super Bowl starters back.
I love it. I love seeing AB in the league. It's just kind of an interesting story, the way he fell out, all this drama and everything, and now he's back. I just think it's kind of funny. So Antonio Brown is definitely good enough to be in the NFL, so I'm glad he's back for another year.
What do you think about the Bucks bringing all 22 of their starters back?
That's crazy. When was the last time that's happened? Do you know?
Ever?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's never happened. Like a Super Bowl team retaining everybody.
I don't know if a team has ever even retained everybody. There's always a lot of turnover in any league.
Yeah. Dude, they're probably going to be really heavy favorites to win the Super Bowl then in that case.
Oh, yeah. And they're also looking to bring back Blaine Gabbert, their backup quarterback. It's not stopping. The Kansas City Royals have the best record in the American League at 14-8.
I loathe it. I mean, it's nice to see the Yankees struggling, I'll say that, but not a huge Royals fan, so loathe it. Moving on.
All right.
All righty. You're up now. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right. First things first. In a UFC 261 presser, Dana White calls Jake Paul's boxing a circus, claiming everything he does is fake.
So I love this. This is starting mad beef between UFC and the Paul brothers. It's kind of also refuting my claim that Jake Paul is the face of boxing because like he's saying that all their numbers are bullshit. And like I could buy that. I could buy that Triller, this company that I've never heard of before until the Paul brothers started boxing, is making up their numbers because who reported on these numbers that they sold? Jake Paul.
You're right.
Jake Paul's full of fucking cap. So like
straight up capper, dude.
I
don't know. I don't know where they got the numbers too. And Triller is like, oh yeah, sorry. Triller's kind of old. They're like an app. It's weird, but yeah. All right. Next topic. Dallas Cowboys linebacker Sean Lee retires from the NFL after 11 seasons.
I love it, but I loathe it. He had a great career. He a lot of good memories. He was injured way too much. Yeah. I wish we could have got him a ring with the Cowboys, but I'm glad he spent his entire career with the Cowboys, and he will be missed.
All right. Chris Paul delivers a dagger in the clutch, a fadeaway three-pointer with a hand in the face to end the New York Knicks NBA long win streak.
Loathe it.
All right. Shohei Ohtani becomes the first player in the MLB to start as a pitcher while leading the league in home runs since Babe Ruth.
I love this. This is awesome. Shohei is changing the game. I mean, if you've downloaded MLB The Show 21, now I think this is the first time where your guy can become a two-way prospect and pitch and bat at the same time because of Shohei. He's doing things that nobody has done in 100 years. And quite frankly, it's fucking awesome.
It is fun to watch. Like anytime I see Shohei starting, I want to watch the game. Like, you know,
he only usually goes about 4 or 5 innings, but he still bats at the same time too.
He kills it though during those 4 innings. All right, next up, John Wall has become the NBA's all-time leader in blocks by a point guard with 427. Jason Kidd is currently second with 425.
I love it, but I'm going to be quick with it. It's kind of shocked me that John Wall is first in the NBA all-time leader for anything, considering how much that he's hurt. It shows that what kind of potential he could have had if his career could have stayed healthy.
All right. Now, Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez split up, but they were seen together at dinner after Minnesota Timberwolves guard Anthony Edwards claims he wants to see them back together.
I love that Anthony Edwards didn't even know who A-Rod was.
Exactly. Yeah, it was weird, but kind of funny. All right, Teddy Bridgewater has been traded twice in his career, and both times were due to Sam Darnold.
I loathe it, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah. All right, Kevin Durant has his Nick Kids Choice Award trophy on top of his Finals MVP trophy display case.
I love it. That's kind of funny. If you see this Twitter post, it's kind of got KD has all of his trophy cases, and at the top of this trophy case, he has his Kids Choice Award, and of course, KD. He's doing his best to get back in the good graces of the public after being a public enemy for a couple of years at Golden State.
Yeah,
and it's kind of working.
I mean, honestly, like the stuff with Michael Rappaport, everybody thought it was hilarious. So, all right, and then last question, we got Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather have agreed to fight at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami on June 6th.
I love it. Holy shit, the Paul brothers actually pulled it off. There's no way. But it's going to be a fake boxing match because it's going to be another one of those exhibitions. So it's going to be a snoozer to watch. So if you buy it, you're a fucking sucker. I'm probably going to stream it, though. I'll probably tune in. But, like, I can't believe that the Paul brothers were actually able to attract a guy like Floyd Mayweather. But it's going to be a fake-ass boxing match, and Floyd Mayweather's going to win. So I guess put your money on Floyd Mayweather. I don't know. Again, I kind of said it before. If you're going to – I would stay away from putting money on anything that Triller hosts because it's all fake. It's all exhibition.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Agree with that. Yeah. All right. Well, that is going to do it for our Love It or Loathe It section. And that is just about it for the episode. But before we go, there is one more little thing we wanted to get into. This Saturday is the return of the Kentucky Derby, the biggest horse race of the year. Neither Elijah or I know jack shit about horse racing, so we're not going to sit here and pretend like we do. But we did make picks for the winner just based off their name. So I made a pick. My logical pick is Rock Your World. It's a horse that has currently 5-1 odds to win, which is the third best odds out of the racing horses. And I know I read somewhere that recently he won the Santa Anita Derby, so that's why I'm going with him. But who I really want to see win is a horse called Soup and Sandwich, because I mean they're 30-1 odds, but like what better name can you think of for a horse than fucking Soup and Sandwich? Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of funny to me. So Elijah, who are you going with?
I'm going with Superstock, because if Superstock has a good showing out, then we'll definitely see some horses with buy GME or buy Dogecoin or invest in AMC. And so I'd really like to see that, or like buy Bitcoin. And then the other one is Midnight Bourbon, because the guy that owns that is definitely an alcoholic.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. All right. So that's going to do it for the episode. You guys can look forward to the Kentucky Derby this Saturday. And of course, the NFL draft happening tomorrow. By the time the recorded episode goes up, it's already going to be draft day. So make sure you guys tune in before everything goes down. We're going to be here same time, same place, live on Twitch and YouTube next week. So thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.